Welcome into Drew's Daily Diamonds for Saturday, April 5th, 2025. Final Four preview. I got your Florida and Auburn pick coming your way. Let me know in the comments below where you agree, where you disagree. All is welcome. Your picks for Saturday in any sport. I'll be in there as well, chiming it up with you in the comments below on YouTube. Smash that like button if you're liking the content as we get the SEC tournament champion versus the SEC regular season champion. Hey, the closest university to Gainesville, Florida is Auburn, but both of these two squads will travel out to San Antonio, Texas in the Alamo Dome to square off for the right to win the national championship in college basketball. It is the Gators minus 2.5 as the favorite, 159.5 being the total. Auburn comes in 32-5. Florida 34-4. Both top 10 offensive and defensive efficiency teams. So on both sides of the court, we are getting top-notch basketball. We get two good coaches, Bruce Pearl, Todd Golden, going at it. This is a rematch. On February 8th, that was a Saturday, Florida went into Auburn and won 90-81. There was 171 points scored there. I'll do the math for you. 74 possessions. Florida averaged 1.2 points per possession. Auburn just under 1.1. And a big difference in that first game was Florida won the turnover battle. They turned over Auburn 12 times. Auburn only turned over Florida 8 times. And really the free throws were the difference. Florida went 15 of 18. Auburn struggled from the line, 14 of 23. Walter Clayton Jr. did have a good game. Man, he has had a great tournament. The point guard for the Florida Gators in likely his last year in college basketball. He's going to be in the association next year, one of the top picks most likely. Broome on the other side, you know, the big guy down low for the Auburn Tigers. He'll likely be in the NBA next year as well, one of the top picks. Now, projecting what's going to happen on Saturday night, that's why you're watching the video. I actually go back to, yes, in the rematch, in the first matchup, Florida and Auburn, it was, if you watched Auburn this year, if you remember back, they were like the number one team for quite a bit, playing great basketball, and then they tailed off, you know, towards the end of the regular season. And this was the first game that I noticed it, just not playing their best basketball. Now, in Auburn's defense, they kind of turned the page, you know, later in the game against Creighton. What was that, the round of 32? And since then, they've been playing a lot better basketball. But you could see the downturn happen right around the time they lost to Florida. And one thing I noticed in the last game that Auburn played against Michigan State, they started dominating that game a little bit right after halftime. And then as it got closer to the end of the game, the Spartans, Tom Izzo, he brought on that defensive pressure, you know, to try to get back into the game. And it actually worked. Towards the end, Auburn was really struggling against the press and the defensive pressure. And sure enough, they had 15 turnovers against Michigan in the game before. So I almost think kind of a weakness here for the Auburn Tigers is turning the ball over, which is one of the reasons Florida won the first rematch. I would not be surprised at all if Todd Golden in the Florida Gators defense saw that, and that's part of their game plan here. You know, the extra preparation time for the Final Four round. Man, this is one where I do see the Gators putting more defensive pressure on the Auburn Tigers. Could that help them win the game? I think so. I also think Broome's going to be able to score a bunch of points down low. Not that Florida doesn't have big guys down low. I just don't think they do to the level of talent that Broome has for the Auburn Tigers. I think he's going to put up a bunch of points. Instead, I think Florida's going to get a bunch of turnovers here, guys. I think Auburn will get their fair share, and we know turnovers mean, you know, quicker possessions, more points scored as well. I got to bring up the point. The Gators are on a 11-game run to the over. Every tournament game they've played in the NCAA tournament and the SEC tournament have all hit the over. We saw the first matchup here in Auburn go way over that closing total. I see more of the same here, guys. I really do. And I know you could point towards the Auburn side not hitting as many overs in the tournament of recent, but really they've been playing against slower teams that don't play as up-tempo as Florida and aren't as talented offensively, quite frankly. So, hey, I know it's a high total in the Alamo Dome, and we've seen some of these top matchups in the past in college basketball get off to slow starts. Hey, if this one does as well, it might be even a better bet to wait for live in-game and bet this one over at a better number. but I actually wouldn't be surprised if they get off to a hot start, both squads. So getting this total under 160, I like it up and over. Florida's played in a bunch of games in the 160s and beyond. Auburn has as well, but yeah, guys, 11 straight overs for the Gators. I'm not stepping in front of that. So 159.5, you're looking for a best bet, Florida and Auburn. I would bet the over in the first game for the Final Four. Just a quick show here on Saturday, one game, Florida-Auburn preview. If you're interested in premium picks, check them out. WagerTalk.com, experts page, Drew Martin. Got the 5% max limit available in the Houston and Duke game. So go check that out, guys. Reminder, if you could comment below, it helps out grow the show. Smash that like button. Cash those tickets. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thanks for tuning in.